Hello everyone, and welcome to another Chess Lifestyle stream. I'm going to be talking a bit quieter because, as you can see, it is extremely late. It is practically a Thursday stream, but I really didn't want to break the cycle 2 days into restarting. So yeah, I'm going to be training like as close to an hour as I can, and basically just training these woodpecker method exercises. And this is what I've realized that during the day you're pretty busy with all kinds of obligations, and when I was in Asia, these streams worked out really well because by the time I finished everything I needed to get done during the day, I could kind of just stream at like 1 a.m. and it would be like a normal time in the UK. But now I realize, if I actually want to not ruin your guys' sleep schedules, then I'm going to need to stream a bit earlier. So I will keep this in mind for Friday. I have no idea when I'm going to have time to stream on Friday because I think I've got an even more hectic day than today. But in any case, we're going to do some woodpecker. And fingers crossed it goes all right. So yeah, let's give this our best shot. Smyslov is getting wrecked by Grigory. Levenfish. Let's see how he does it. Okay, white to play. Queen, rook, knight. Queen, rook, knight. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Yeah, I'm so used to calculating in my head right now, like I'm not even speaking out loud. But yeah, we've got 4 pawns versus 2. Also, appreciate Joe for the new YouTube membership. Join. Yeah, cool to have you on board. And yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the Bologna videos, if that was the reason why you joined. Now, I'm immediately seeing actually that this rook h8, king h8, queen h6, and mate is a thing. But rook h8, maybe king f7? And do we have an immediate knockout blow that we can just play and be happy with? Not exactly, so we should probably calculate properly. Welcome a random chess player to the stream. How's it going? Where in the world are you from, if you don't mind disclosing? Would be curious to see which of my viewers are awake at this time. But yeah. Okay, so let's do this properly. So we're 2 pawns up. There's a knight near their king. Their king is quite exposed. The rook on a8 is protected by their queen. Their queen is protected by the knight, but the knight is loose on f6. Our pieces are all supported with a majority on the queen side. The king and queen are in forking distance from the knight, but it's very hard for the knight to get to either of these squares. Oh, and I just realized my phone has an app that closes any apps that I don't want to get addicted to. So I've actually got a timer on YouTube. So YouTube is going to close and I have YouTube open to read chat. So let me disable this stay focused ad block. Alright. Okay, should be fine. And welcome Toby Quate to the stream, and good to hear a random chess player is from Liverpool. Yo, that's crazy. I wonder which one of you is it, because yeah, I've met a lot of Liverpool chess players this week, so could be anyone. Levenfish, love this guy. Rook h8 looks winning. Okay, I'm gonna need to calculate this faster. So okay, what candidate moves do I have? Also, I know nothing about Levenfish. Toby, can you share any more details on why you love this guy? Or does he just have a cool name? Okay, so rook h8, of course, is one candidate. Checks, captures, threats. Any captures... I mean, queen h7 is ridiculous. I know real threats, I mean... Queen h6 seems extremely slow, but probably worth looking into. I guess we can threaten the g6 pawn in some way, like rook g3 or rook h6. I mean, it doesn't look like they have any threats on us immediately, although our king is quite exposed. But of course, rook h8 is the most forcing move that looks promising. We already saw that if king takes h8, they lose. So rook h8, king f7. We haven't sacrificed any material yet. So what candidates do we have there? We also have rook takes a8. And if queen takes a8, maybe we've got some spicy follow-up. We also have a new check, right? Rook h8, king f7. There's this knight g5 check. Maybe that's useful. Yeah, and actually, I think knight g5 is very strong, right? Because rook h8 and knight g5, the point is if the queen takes... Yeah, the rook takes. I almost did this, which would have been quite illegal. So yeah, we would win an exchange there, and if knight g5 and they go king g7, which is the only other legal move, I think we've got queen e7. And did I just blunder my rook? I think I just blundered my rook. Oh, this is going to be a really rough stream. Jesus Christ. Knight f7 check. They have to come to the 7th rank, probably. And maybe we have some drawing stuff, but we're literally 2 pawns up in the starting position. This is hopeless. So, rook h8, knight f7. We've got knight g5 check. We've got knight d8 check, which definitely needs looking into. We've got rook takes a8 as well. So, hey, what about this rook h8, king f7, rook takes a8, queen takes a8, knight g5? If king g7, queen e7, and this looks like it wins, because I pick up the knight. So knight g5 check, let's say king g8. Queen e6 would pick up the knight. Okay, so what if knight g5 check, king f8? Do we have a win? I have no idea, I don't think so. So what am I missing here? I mean, I should really look at my other candidates as well, like queen h6 or queen g5. But I mean, queen h6, I'm blundering the knight. Rook g3. Surely they can hold it somehow. I mean, maybe like rook g3, queen f5. But I realize I'm also not calculating properly. I'm just hoping that rook h8 is correct. Rook h8, king h7. I also didn't consider rook h7 is also a check. But just the knight takes. Rook f8 is also a check, but the rook takes. I don't see the follow-up. Rook h8, king f7. Knight d8 check. Rook takes. Don't see a follow-up. Rook h8, king f7. Knight g5, king g7. Surely there's something here. Now I go rook takes a8, because now if queen takes a8, now queen e7 wins the knight. Okay. That was really, really brutal on the brain. Yeah. And now I can take this. Yeah, I just didn't combine the two. But that is how it goes. Like, once you understand both ideas, you can often combine them. It just takes a bit of time if you don't realize that you can combine them. Yeah. I was a ginger one. I assume you must be the kid that was chatting non-stop about your tournament while I was playing Edis, and as a result I literally blundered a whole piece and 3 pawns for a piece. But then I managed to swindle and come back and win. So a good end to the story in any case. But no, it was really nice chatting to you. If that is you, it is you. Okay, great. Good to see you here, Mr. Random Chess Player, who I have forgotten the name of. I have a feeling I know the name, but if you're a random chess player on YouTube, you probably want to stay anonymous, so I'll respect that. But okay. Toby says, I just know you made the 11-fish dragon, which is a load of nonsense, but it's a lot of fun. Rook h8, king of 7, knight g5, king g7, rook c8, exclam. Exactly. Very nice, Toby. 11 fish dragon. I actually don't know what that is. Let me quickly look it up, just out of curiosity. Let me see if this comes up. F4. God, that looks like something I would have played as a junior before learning how strong the Yugoslav attack was, which probably isn't actually that strong, but as a junior, it was like literally 1-0 white. Yeah, this is why I don't play the dragon as black. I wouldn't recommend it. Okay, next variation. Yeah, no, Toby, you're not the most anonymous username, I have to say. Unless you're not Toby. That would be pretty anonymous. More anonymous, even. But let's not give Tricky any ideas, shall we? Okay, Mr. Seaman Furman against Vasily Smyslov. White to play. Let's go. Instinct is I want to lose my queen with rook h3. Probably is just awful. And it's the problem of these stupid queen sack tactics that never appear in real games. So okay, let's think about this properly. We've got queen, rook, bishop, knight against queen, rook, bishop, knight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So equal material. What can we note about the position? Okay, we've got some back rank problems. Our queen is on the line of their king. Their king is maybe a bit exposed on the dark squares. Our knight potentially has this knight takes g6 check. Our bishop is on a sticky square protected by a pawn. Queen is supported. Sorry, rook is supported by the queen. Queen is potentially loose. Queen is being attacked. Knight is defended. Rook is loose. Queen is being protected. Okay, lots going on here. And we've got a difference in pawn structure. So, okay, with all of these elements somewhat understood, let's now consider some candidate moves. Yeah, there's lots of pressure everywhere, so I want to find some knockout here. So, what checks do we have? We've got knight takes g6. What captures do we have? We can take on c4, which looks very dodgy. Take on f5 maybe, which looks even more dodgy because it blunders checkmate. Any more captures? I don't see any more. Okay, threats. I guess rook h3 might potentially threaten something, but probably not. Okay, so let's start with our check. Let's say knight takes g6. So knight takes g6. If they take with the pawn, now we go rook h3 check. And then we at least win the queen. And we win the queen with check so that we can save our queen and not get back ranked somehow. So that looks very good. So knight takes g6, queen takes g6. Now the king is exposed. And you would think that rook g3 check is winning. But no, they can go knight takes b2. So okay. Knight g6, queen g6. Is there a win? Probably rook takes c4 check. Because then you don't lose the queen and you win a pawn. And they have to block on g7 probably. And then we take on g7 probably. And then king takes. And we're up a pawn. And then we can even play rook c7 check. Which looks very nice. So yeah, I think knight, we can already say for sure knight g6 is just really good. There's no other candidates, I think. Okay, we finished an intermediate section. Let's go. Yeah, did we get the whole line? Yeah, rook c7, GG. Or rook a4. It's also just as winning. But who wouldn't play rook c7? Okay, nice. What are people saying in chat? f4 is very dodgy, yes. But there's some fun lines. Yeah, I'm Safsara. Oh my god, do not start this. Do not start this. I cannot deal with the mind games. That would indeed be the most crazy plot twist of the century. Actually, it would not be the most crazy plot twist. Let's not give you that much credit if that really is the case. That would be quite funny though. I'll give you that. It would be quite funny. Okay, so we finished intermediate exercises. Let's move on to intermediate exercises number 2, 200 variations. You've played me, a random chess player. What was the result? In the rapid and blitz... Oh, you're talking to Sapsara, I see. Okay. Well, potentially Sapsara. Okay, you are not Sapsara. Okay. Yeah, I didn't think so. Because I feel like I've seen you, Sapsara, and Arav all in the chat at the same time. That would be some pretty meta trolling if there were two Sapsara accounts going at the same time. That is a pretty bold statement to claim that Sapsara is Sapsara and Toby is Toby. And I am Chess Lifestyle. And here we are, training tactics at 6 past midnight. And we have more Vasily Smysov, so black to play. Actually, I feel like Sapsara would not have got the correct answer on the puzzle before last. So definitely it's Toby. Like, no way is Sapsara solving that at 6 past midnight. I refuse to believe it. Okay, so let's think. We got Queen Rook Rook, Knight Knight against Queen Rook Rook, Knight Bishop. Got 1 3 4 against 4, but their 4 pawns are very broken. Our pawns are a bit safer. H4 pawn might be useful. Queen is on the line of their king. Rook on A1 is loose. Queen and king on the same diagonal, but probably not relevant. Rook is protected on D5 by a pawn. The knight is pinned. Bishop F1 is solid. Knight on E5 is pinned. Knight on E6 is protected. Rook on F8 is on the line of the queen. Rook is on the open C file. Okay, and anything else to note? Not really. Okay, so what checks do we have? We've got Knight F3 check. We've got Queen takes G2 check. Looks about it. What about our captures? Rook takes C2. Queen takes G2. And what about our threats? I don't know. What threats do we have? Maybe Knight G4. Maybe Knight G4 is a threat. Probably not. Maybe Rook C3 to try and bring the Rook into G3 could be promising. So okay, let's look at our most forcing moves. So Knight F3 check. Don't really know what it even threatens. Let's say Queen takes it. Oh, he just busted. Looks like it. Okay, so what about Queen takes G2? Bishop takes G2? Nothing. Okay. Captures. If we take on C2, maybe if Queen takes C2, then we have Knight F3, but still the king can just move. Unless it can't, right? Unless it can't. Like Rook C2, Queen C2, Knight F3. If King H1, maybe Queen G3. And the point is if the knight moves, we've got Queen G1 checkmate. So okay, Rook C2, Queen C2, Knight F3, King F2 probably is forced. Then we can make use of a sticky square Queen G3 check. Then either King E2 or King E3. If King E2... maybe we've got Knight G1 check. And either King D2 or King D1. Really not sure. Doesn't look so good. But maybe we're onto something. At the same time, I mean, Rook C3 looks quite nice. Just to bring the Rook to G3 and target H3. Don't really see a good way how he deals with that either. I mean, the knight is pinned. I mean, if Rook C2 works, then it's probably nicer, but how? Rook C2, Queen C2, Knight F3, King F2. There aren't any more checks that I'm missing. Queen G3, King E2, and there's just nothing. Oh, there's not nothing, because we can play Knight E5 and there's another knight here. I didn't see that. I thought I'm just losing the knight, but no, the other knight takes and it's a fork. So actually, is that completely winning then? Rook C2, Queen C2, Knight F3, King F2, Queen G3, King E3 is the only other move. And then at the very least, we can give this check and pick up the queen. Okay, so Rook C2, they can't take my rook. With Rook C2, what else can they play? They play a move like this, I can take on G2 and then take the queen. So Rook C2 is really looking nice. think we're going to play it. Okay, they actually took check and then check. Okay. Let's go. Oh my god, we have the Holy Trinity, ladies and gentlemen. We have Tricky, Toby, and Alfie. Okay, no, Sapsara's not involved, so okay, like, it could be worse. It literally could be worse. I know it's a Thursday Tricky, but I started the stream on a Wednesday, so this counts, okay? Rook takes c2, maybe followed by knight f3 and queen g3. Very nice, Toby. Bro stole my is. Alfie, you need to type before you think. Wait, that doesn't even make sense. Do the opposite of what I'm doing right now, because I also can't calculate a single line and speak at the same time. I know the cardboard box upgrade is going to be real. But remember what I said, Tricky. No mean comments today. Let's not suggest that I was organ harvesting, although I almost did engage in child trafficking, because it's actually illegal to take a child across borders without specific forms being filled. So that was quite fun to almost fall into. Well, when I say almost, okay, I was a few months away from committing this crime, and I did get the forms filled, and in the end, the parent was able to show up. So, you know, I didn't end up becoming a child trafficker, but that would have been an interesting twist. Okay, guys, focus. You all have ADHD. I have ADHD. Nobody cares. Let's just solve some chess. Okay, so what do we have here? We've got queen, rook, bishop, bishop, knight, knight against queen, rook, bishop, bishop, knight, knight. We've got 4-7, 4-7. Okay, so equal material. I have a castled king. I've got a bit of a window. They have a castled king. Do not have a window, but back rank is a million years away. Okay, what else is there to note about the position? What's even going on here? So we've got an interesting pawn wedge of d5, e4, locking out their bishop. Somehow our pieces, nothing looks completely off to me. I mean, I'm very clueless about this type of position, but nothing looks immediately off. But let's keep analyzing. So, okay, the knight on d7 is loose. Anything else loose in the position? Not really. Maybe that bishop on f6 looks like it could be trapped if we got a pawn to g5, but it doesn't feel so simple. So, okay, let's have a think. What candidate moves do we have in this position based on the sole piece of information that the bishop on f6 looks a little dodgy and the knight on d7 is loose? I really don't see any other factors in the position. Okay, well, we'll roll with this. So, I mean, maybe the pawn on b5 looks a bit weak. And then, okay, then you put 2 and 2 together, right? And then you win a pawn. That's probably just it. Yeah, I mean, great. I mean that is quite a nice advantage to take, I think. Especially given the knight was, like, improving itself to c5. So if we take on b5, do they have to take back? Can they throw in any in-between moves like knight c5, for instance? Well, we can always move the bishop and protect the knight. So, and our rook is protecting e4. This looks quite solid. Knight b5. Yeah, I think knight b5 is just winning. Okay. Well, the solution at least. I don't know about winning. Okay, and black played the move c6 here, which was still very good for white. I guess, at the very least, we can put the knight back on a3. I mean, if not, then I should have seen the move. If we can, okay, knight a3 is fine. So I don't blame myself for not seeing d takes c6. But yeah, d takes c6. Why is this so much better? It does make sense. Open up the d file for the queen. Yeah. Okay, nice. So let me catch up. Okay, we have the holy square now. Sapsara has joined. Wonderful, guys. I don't know what you guys are doing awake. Don't you have school or something? I'm not the type of guy not to consider the loose knight on d7. I did consider it. Thank you very much. Yeah, knight takes b5, bishop a4. Great job, Toby. You guys have to beat Toby in terms of speed because he's quick. Oh my god. What is this? Yeah, congrats on... Oh, okay. Toby says girlfriend in what way? I was about to congratulate Arav on his chess playing girlfriend, but I guess she must be AI or something. So okay. Just another day of not trusting a single word that Arav says. But okay, let's do another. I realize as well. I can't really be hypocritical, right? I can't stop Arav saying mean comments to me if I'm going to say mean comments to him. So okay, lots of love, Arav. Let's keep training. I'm sure your girlfriend is amazing at chess and is cool. That's about as cool of a comment I can come up with right now. Smyslov against Geller. Smyslov to win. Okay, we've got queen, rook, and bishop against queen, rook, and knight. Probably I would take the bishop in this kind of position, given their pawns are dark squares. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pawns. King looks quite exposed on g7. Anything else to note? I'm just going to very quickly check my phone in case, not for Stockfish, before anyone says that. I need to make sure that I'm not waking up my my flatmate by yapping at midnight. No, I think it's... but I will reply to him about something different real quick. Okay. Let's keep going. Okay, so what is there to note? Rook is loose on a2, queen is loose on b7, queen is loose on d2, king is exposed on g7. Rook takes f6 looks like a big candidate move, which I'm going to start calculating already because it might just win given the queen is loose on b7. So rook f6, if king takes queen h6, king e7 or king f7 is met by queen takes h7 and we win the queen. So rook takes f6, they cannot take. And then I'm threatening queen h6 and rook f8. So, I mean, this looks really winning. Any counter checks, any counter attacks, nothing that causes problems. Let's just play it. Okay, so we just win a free queen. Very nice. Okay, moving on. Next one. Sapsara asked, are you playing the Blitz qualifier? Yes, I am. How about you? And which is the nearest Blitz qualifier to you? I assume probably Nottingham. I presume there's a Nottingham Blitz qualifier. But yeah, no, I will be playing the one in Liverpool. That's crazy. Coming up with a diss about me missing a loose queen when I didn't even miss it, and then mistyping the quotation. That's wild, Arav. Come on, do better, do better. Okay, let's go. Stalberg against Mislov. black to play. Okay, rook, rook, knight against rook, rook, knight. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're a pawn down. The weirdest configuration going on here. Rook is also on the line of the king. And because at this very time, on this very day, I have a lot of teenage boys watching the stream, I will give you guys a life hack because I'm just that generous. I scratched my nose and felt a bit of a pimple rising, right? And the biggest life hack for you guys to know right now is that do not buy any acne cream that has salicylic acid in it. You want to get the pimple cream that has benzyl peroxide. And you can get benzyl peroxide by literally just going to like the prescription medicine counter in Boots and just asking for it. Like you don't need to fill any forms or anything. But it's just a million times more effective. And I feel like salicylic acid, like it doesn't even work half the time, or it's even worse. So it took me some time to like pick up on this golden information. So if you wanna save yourself from pimples, like unless you have a really, really rare severe case of something, benzoyl peroxide literally does the trick. But it does stain your clothes, so don't get it on your clothes, otherwise it will stain. Fun fact. Okay, let's keep thinking. So okay, so what else is going on in this position? Okay, so loose rook on b7, loose rook on e4, knight is pinned to the rook. Rook is on the line of the king, rook is on the 7th rank, knight on h5. Candidate moves, got knight takes g3, which I would play if I was able to calculate. But no, I should keep considering candidates. So we've also got rook e1, we've got rook g3, maybe rook h2. Surely one of these moves is working. So let's calculate knight g3. If knight g3, they cannot move the king, which is a good sign given we have this pin. But knight g3, maybe they can play rook g4. Maybe. Knight g3 if they play rook g4. Knight g3, rook g4. Rook g4. I guess I could go rook takes e3. And then if they go like rook takes g5, king takes g5, pawn takes g3, rook takes g3, check. Let's say king f2. I mean, what is going on there? Like, I can't attack the e-pawn. Not easily, at least. Maybe I'd have to play like... No, that would blunder my rook. I don't know. Looks unclear. So, shallow calculation, we move on. What about rook takes g3? Rook g3. If pawn takes, knight takes. Really doesn't look great. Although we are attacking their rook, but they can play rook g4 check and we lose. So okay, not bad. Rook h2 definitely doesn't work. Rook e1. Not too sure. What about the capture of rook takes e3? Rook takes e3, rook takes e3, nothing. Yeah, I'm a bit stumped, I have to say. Knight takes g3, maybe it could be knight takes g3. Knight takes g3. If they block knight g4, well then I can play rook takes e4 and surely I'm better. So knight takes g3. Another thing to note, knight takes g3, if pawn takes g3, then rook takes g3, and I pick up the knight on e3 with having won a bunch of pawns, so that should be good. So knight g3, rook g4 is the only thing I need to solve, actually. g4. Knight g3, rook g4. Okay, because I'm feeling generous as well, each of you who are watching out of Sapsara, oh god, I'm forgetting all your names. Sapsara, Arav, Toby, and Alfie. You're welcome to ask one teenage boy big tip question each, and I will give you the golden answer. So make it a good one. Obviously within reason. I'm not gonna get Chess Lifestyle cancelled over this. But just because I feel like I'm too tired for anything else, but it sounds like a fun conversation to have. So yeah. Okay, so knight takes g3, rook g4. Come on, I can do this. Knight g3, rook g4. What candidates do I have here? I've got rook takes e3 or rook takes g4. Like, one of these moves has to be good. Knight takes g3, rook g4. Rook takes g4, knight takes g4. And I've won a pawn, right? So is that just good enough? So what, if I just move back knight f5 or something, they take on a7. I mean, it's really not clear. So knight g3, rook g4. If I take on e3, then I take on g5. King g5. Take on g3, rook g3, king f2, and this is what we looked at earlier. I don't see why we're better there. Like, rook a3, just rook takes a7. I don't know if you guys are following at all. Knight g3. Knight g3, rook g4. I guess knight g3, rook g4, at the very least I can just move the knight somewhere. I mean, it wins a pawn is a pawn, someone said that once. And of course, you know, Woodpecker doesn't show like the most critical line, so let's just win some material and then we can take this in some way. But do we need to be careful of any stuff? No. What's the difference, actually? This one feels a bit stronger because we're actually trying to do something active. I mean, this doesn't actually threaten anything, right? So I think this looks a bit better. Okay, clearly not. Or Woodpecker doesn't like it, at least. Instinct says just take the pawn. Let's not mess around. But maybe actually we should put the rook behind and bring the king like this, especially since they can't cut us off. But then again, could they like attack this? Or maybe they even attack this way, right? If they take, then they take. And then this might just be a draw. If I take here, then I'm not losing those pawns. God, what would be your instinct, guys? Now, the more I look at it, I think I should just take the pawn and just activate the king and just pray. That's enough. Alternative. Is it really going to say this is winning? But I don't have a solution here. That was my issue. I don't think it's winning. I don't think it's winning after this. So is there another move I'm missing? Oh, maybe it's use the king to take the pawn. Oh, I didn't even consider that. Oh, that's so annoying. That is literally like the most obvious move in the position. I didn't think about it. Rook g4 does not work due to knight e4. I mean, I did make this point, right? That we can just move the knight and we're fine. Rook g5. Knight g5. Knight c4. Rook e4. Oh, we actually win the pawn like that. Okay. So knight e4 saves time, because when your knight isn't being attacked, you can recapture with the knight. Their knight is still attacked, and you actually win the pawn. Okay. Probably I should see knight e4. This is probably important to see. But at the same time, I mean, we didn't have any good alternatives, right? I mean, let's see. Like, the way to not be harsh on ourselves is to realize, okay, if in this position, a5 plus 0.9 is the best next alternative, then, yeah, you can see that loads of moves are like minus point something. So the fact that I went knight g3 without seeing knight e4 is actually completely okay. So, yeah, that's good news. And on that note, let's have a look if we've got any fun questions for me to consider. Probably not. Free skincare tips, exactly, a random chess player. Aha, girlfriend equals friend who is a girl. Yeah, beggars can't be choosers, right? God. That's crazy. We met in secret outside St. George's Hall, which is literally the entrance of the Major Open and all the other British events, but okay. I'm getting brain rot from reading these comments. Yeah, tricky. I can't answer that one. But did I ever tell you guys the story of how I got arrested for supposedly selling cocaine? Even though obviously I've never done cocaine and don't sell it, obviously. But that was a pretty funny story. Literally got handcuffed. But can I really be bothered to share this one? I feel like you guys need to earn it, you know? That is quite a wild story. I don't even know what SMD means, Tricky. You need to get off the internet, brother. What the hell? What the hell is this chat? You got 90s G3 10 minutes ago, Tricky. Fair play. I'm not scrolling back up, but I believe you. But yeah, this line with 94 is quite nice. Why are you leaking me? Okay, we've got a new pug in chat. Okay, well, we had one single question to solve the quarter-life crisis of teenage boys, which was, how do I sell cocaine? Which, unfortunately, I cannot give any advice on. So you guys have missed out on the opportunity of a lifetime because not every chess lifestyle stream you're going to have such an opportunity. So, yeah, sucks to suck, but let's keep going with the chess training. At the end of the day, chess training is more important, right? So here we are. Smistov against Unziker. White to play. Okay, so what's going on? We've got an ugly bishop fianchetto against a wall of pawns. I don't know why that's the first thing I see. I should look at the material. So we've got bishop pair against knight pair. And we've got equal number of pawns, 7 pawns each. So what else is there to know? I mean, the bishop's pinning the knight to the rook. Rooks are on the double c file. Queen and rook are on the same diagonal, potentially. Pawn is potentially a target. This pawn is a target. Okay. I mean, I definitely like White's position more. If he's got more potential, I also like this pressure on the c-file. Oh, there's actually X-ray pressure on the rook. So let's look at our X-rays as well. Okay, got an X-ray here, here, Any other x-rays to note? Probably those are the only relevant ones. Okay, so let's consider some candidate moves. Bishop takes knight. If they take with the pawn, we win the rook. So bishop takes knight, we win a piece. So bishop takes knight, they're kind of forced to take with the queen. And do we have a follow-up here that makes sense? Now I'm thinking maybe a move like bishop h3 makes some interesting sense, because if the queen were to take it, maybe now we can play bishop takes d6. And I guess if the rook moves, we win a pawn as well. This actually looks really nice, this bishop h3, because this bishop was our worst piece, right? Remember how I said it was really ugly at the start? I guess there is some pressure on e4, and this also deals with it. So bishop h3 looks really nice, actually. Yeah, let's play it. Okay. Beautiful. Okay, who got that one? Come on, guys. Someone must have got this in chat. I couldn't be the first one for bishop h3. That's crazy. Why do you play 1c3 as white? Because it wins me games. Is that a good enough reason, Mr. Geographical Term? Michael not noticing the extremely cramped position of the knights. I hope you're not talking about this position, Tricky, because knights can jump over the pieces. Okay, yeah, I can't understand chat, except for the bishop h3 is good, which came way too late. So okay, let's keep going. I'm glad I can be the sharpest one here. Okay, we've got knight and bishop against knight and bishop. We've got 1, 3, 4, 5 against 1, 3, 4, 5. What to note? How am I doing for time as well, actually? How much longer of this torture do I have? Oh, halfway through, okay. Let's keep it up. Okay, let's keep it up. So, okay. Checks, captures, threats in this position. Feels like something should be possible, but okay, before candidates, let's do a proper evaluation. There's a loose bishop on b3, a loose knight on d8. King is exposed to checks, potentially with our bishop, potentially with the pawn, potentially with the knight. We've also got a capture on e5, potentially. We've got this majority on the queen side that doesn't look so promising for now. Black's got a more broken up king side. Okay, so if this was a blitz game, I'd be very tempted by f5, because if they had to take my pawn, then I've got knight d6 and I win on b7. But of course, after f5, I don't have to take. So, okay, f5 is a candidate, bishop h3 is a candidate, knight g5 is a check, and I can take on e5. And one of these moves should be good. Also, look at the x-rays, right? I've got bishop pressure on b7, but the knight is protecting it. Okay. Okay, I'm also realizing now that because I said the bishop is loose, c6 is also an idea because of this fork, right? So, in this position, we've got several moves. f5, bishop h3, pawn takes e5, and c6. c6 looks good. I mean, if c6 is played, maybe we wanna play like something like this first, right? Because if they take, then we've got this idea and we have a great position. If they don't take, then they can't take us with check, right? If they have to play a sad move like king e7, but now c6 we no longer have a fork because the king has moved. Okay, let's go one at a time. So let's imagine c6 because we are threatening to win the game. So c6, what if they take on f4? If they take on f4, we go king takes f4. And what would they play there? Probably like bishop d5. Then we can go knight c5 check anyway. And bishop takes d5, and I mean, that looks pretty winning. With knight takes b7 at the end of that line. So, c6 takes an f4, king f4. Do they have anything better? I don't think so, because you're threatening not only taking on b7, but you're threatening c7 as well. And c7 is deadly because it threatens c8 as well as taking on d8. I think it's just over. I think c6, GG. I think let's play it. Yeah. Okay, king takes. King takes and we're chilling. Pawn takes and we're chilling. Let me take it all. Thank you very much. Okay. What are people saying? Okay, good job, Tricky, with finding c6 first. People bickering about ratings, classic. When you banned an online predator on leeches today? Okay, no, I need to stop reading these comments. Where can we get this site? Your classic comment. Thanks for replying Tricky about Chessable. Exactly. That's crazy how people still haven't heard of Chessable. Getting some rage bait from a geographical term who is an anonymous pug is wild. This guy's 2,500 leeches, I'd listen to him, and then the person in question literally replies, who? That's crazy. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, Mr. Karas against Smyslov. Okay. Yeah, crazy position. You know, they're threatening checkmate in 1. Their king is extremely weak. What to do? So, if we don't play a check on move 1 or deal with the checkmate, they will take on g7 with mate. So that narrows down our options, like, right? We can't play like rook d8 to d1 because I'll just go checkmate. So what candidates do we have? We have rook h1 check. That is our only check. We also have a move like bishop f8, which probably blunders the queen. We can also defend the mate with g6. Pawn to g6. So not too many options, to be honest. Like, you've got bishop f8, we've got pawn to g6, and we've got rook h1 check, right? So maybe we can already eliminate, right? Bishop f8, we lose the queen. g6 definitely at least fights on a bit. There's no queen takes g6 or something. But rook h1 is the most promising for an attack. So, if rook h1, king h1, we can go queen d1 check. And if they go king h2, we can go queen takes g4, pawn takes g4, and pawn takes h6, and we have bishop and rook against rook. Alternatively, if we go rook h1, king h1, queen d1, queen takes d1, rook takes d1, king h2, then we can go pawn takes h6, and we are winning. So basically we can do this. Very nice. Okay, pretty simple one there. Karas played king g3. Oh, I should have looked at this. But it says without the rook hanging on c1, which I didn't even notice. I mean, that's why you should always try and like absorb the factors in the position. I didn't even see that my rook was hanging, like by this bishop and this rook, right? It's crazy. But black can play g6 with an extra rook, fair enough. And black went on to win, obviously. Very nice. Okay, let's see what people are saying. I really shouldn't look at what people are saying. Okay, Toby asked, how does this kind of thing affect your thinking in real games? I never used any courses or anything, I just played chess. I would say if your method of playing chess is strong enough to not need any adjustments, then you can just do that. But I think there are all kinds of ways in which courses can help. Like, for instance, opening courses. If you literally get a course that's written by a really good author who is, like sufficiently above your level, then you can just learn a lot and literally play their repertoire and literally just win games. For instance, Camille Plicture is like a really good example of this, where he's got like really interesting lines, and you could just improve your repertoire in an instant, like that way, by just studying it. But like stuff like this Woodpecker method, I need to train this method because I am so careless in classical games, or I used to be, right? Like I gained 60, 70 points this last month. And one of the main differences is just consistency of calculation. So, okay, if this course is motivating me to practice this, and I'd rather practice it here than have to practice it in my games and blunder, in my games, then it's worth doing, I think. So, I think courses definitely have their place. I'm not going to get involved in all of this IQ rating nonsense. John Clark is a crazy... Oh, but it's probably not the same John Clark I know, to be honest. John Clark's probably a pretty common name. It's funny to see the name, though. What are people saying? Welcome, Fritz, to the stream. Oh, please give me some sanity. I've had to chat with teenage boys for the last half an hour. So thank you, Fritz, for joining the stream. Glad Camille is getting some love as well. I met him in summer. Hair looking funny. I will take that in a good way. And thank you for the congratulations, Fritz. Appreciate that. Yeah, no, tournaments went very well. Calculation was pretty consistent on the whole. I think I made maybe one blunder in the whole 4 tournaments, which is pretty good going. Okay, it depends what you classify as a blunder, but when I say blunder, I mean like really stupid tactical oversight blunder. So we will take that. I mean, to be honest, compared to these kids, for his 18 as an adult, which is very, very sad for me to say. What am I supposed to do? Just ignore chat because you guys are several years too young? Yeah, no, not escaping the allegations. I'm a YouTuber as well, right? It's like it's such a bad like background. Anyway, moving right on. Jesus, mother of Christ. Okay, let's keep going. Smyslov against Naidov. How many more minutes of this? 16 more minutes. Okay. Queen and 2 rooks and 2 knights against queen, 2 rooks, 2 knights. We've got 4, 6, 4, 6. Funny story about the word nonce, actually. I actually didn't know what the word nonce meant for like several years, and I would like use it in completely the wrong contexts, and it was so funny. And then one day I found out, and I was just like, "You're kidding me!" What did I used to think nonce meant? I thought nonce was just like a synonym for like idiot, and it was just like some modern day slang, and I just never bothered to like clarify. And it was funny. I think I was saying comments like, "Oh, I'm such a nonce," and I can't imagine what. Okay, I need to keep it down because I'm probably gonna wake up my flatmate. But yeah, no, just man, it is rough being a boomer. You guys have it easy. But yeah, let's keep going. Okay, queen, rook, rook, knight, knight against queen, rook, rook, knight, knight. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What else is there to note about the position? Okay, our queen and knight are looking really deadly. All of their pieces are protected. No bishops on the board. Okay, there's some X-ray pressure with the queen. There is some tension between the rooks. Anything else to note? I don't really see anything else. So on that note, let's start calculating some candidates. We only have one check, which is queen takes h7, which doesn't look very good. Do we have any captures? Yeah, we've got knight takes h7, knight f7, knight e5, rook takes c7. Do we have any threats in this position? I mean, I didn't even understand like what's even loose in this position. Like, it looks pretty solid to me. I guess maybe actually like the pawn is only defended by the knight, right? So maybe we can distract the knight somehow. I don't really see a way. I mean, what can my pieces do? Like my rook on c1, go to rook c6, but surely not. I mean, could there be like potential back rank stuff? Like, I don't know. This is probably really bad calculation, but like these kind of ideas, like, is there potential? I don't know. Okay, so let's begin. Queen h7, knight h7. Surely nothing there. So what about captures? If knight takes h7, if knight takes h7, then we can go queen takes e7, rook takes e7, rook c8. And that wins material. Hold up. So knight h7, if they play rook takes c1, I could first go knight takes f6 check, king g7, then take back on c1. If they take back on c1, knight takes c1, and then they can take on f6, which I'm not so happy with. Because they're not like up material or something. But yeah, knight h7 looks very promising. So knight h7, if they take our knight on h7, are we definitely winning there? We can play queen takes e7, and if they take us, we go rook c8. Yeah. So knight h7, and they take on c1. What options do I have there? To be fair, the queen is now no longer protected. Oh, so we can just go rook takes c1. Rook takes c1, knight takes c1, and we've won a pawn. Yeah, because even if they play king g7 to secure the knight, at the very least we can go back and we've won a pawn. So I think knight h7 looks really good. Yeah, I think we should go for it. Okay, so here they just blundered because we can take. Yeah. I think they didn't have to play this. I think rook takes c1 was slightly better. But let's see if my calculation was incorrect here. Wow, it was. So I said that we can just take on c1. Oh, there's queen b7. And this is why it's so important to understand that, like, your exposed pieces. That's ridiculous. Are you guys seeing this? I don't know if you can actually see the engine evaluation. I'll have to wait a bit more. Let's see if I can go live and see if I can see this. Yeah, it looks like you can just about see the engine. Okay, good. Can you see it actually? Let me try and see it on the screen. No, it's it. Okay, let me literally move this very, very slightly so you guys can appreciate. Let me do this. Just a tad, just so you guys can see the engine eval in full. Yeah, it's -2 after queen b7. Holy crap. Okay, so I literally just blundered the game. Yeah. So after rook c1, knight takes f6. Oh, and you have to find king h and knight h5. Okay, you don't have to find it. But how is this fine? Rook c1, knight c1, queen f6, and this is just better for white? Oh, because we've won the pawn already, I forgot. Ah, we had actually won the pawn. So then knight f6 is a lot more, a lot smoother. Yeah, that's a real shame. But yeah, this is exactly what can go wrong. Like, if you just, like, play a move like this, and you're just like, oh yeah, rook c1 and I'm better. The problem is it's not very forcing, right? It's just a capture, so it gives more options. Whereas if you give a check, then, you know, there's less options of your opponent. But yeah, that's a rough thing to miss. Let us check the comments. Oh, that's amazing, Fritz, that you spotted this whole queen b7. Fantastic. I mean, queen b7 is so hard to spot because in the starting position, the rook is literally blocking the queen. That's an amazing spot. Yeah, knight takes f6. Okay, have a good night, Safsara. That's a smart thing to do. And I actually see on the timer the training is over as well, so I get to go to sleep as well. So have a good night, everyone. And just a reminder for everyone in chat, we are trying to train chess and create a positive vibe. And if you're not about that, then I'm not really interested in having you guys here. So yeah, focus on the chess. We're here to get good and trying to raise each other up. So we can have some fun, but you know, try and keep that as the focus. Okay. Still, good training session, everyone, and see you, I guess, on Friday for another stream. And I will try my best not to be so late next time. And hope you guys had some fun with the chaotic rambles as well. Okay. Good night, guys. Good night.